Okay, so the question is how to manage customers, especially if you have a customers from someone else. So when you manage customers, if you click on the little arrow here, you will get your whole customer list. And if someone needs to come into your customer list, you can just click on invite a contact. And here you will see your personal invitation code. So any existing customer that will enter this personal invitation code in the invitation field, will become one of your customers and will appear in this list. So first thing, if a user already exists in BioCoherence because he went to another practitioner or he already has the app, first thing you have to ask is so let's go back. You click on the two arrows here. You click on invite a contact and you see your personal invitation code. It's always the same. Okay, so you can also have it written on your desk, and you say, okay, just launch the app and enter your invitation code. So it's P something, okay? Enter it at the app startup, for instance, or in the settings. So on his account, he should go to maybe settings and enter the code here, okay? As soon as he does that, you can go back to your client here, and he will be in this list, and you can directly work on him, okay? If you don't do that, or if the guy is not here or if he didn't enter the system, maybe you will want to create another account for him, but it will be a second account. So you will have two different accounts. And that is what happened to you, Laura. What is that? So if you start working on a second account and then he enters your invitation code, you will have two instances of him in your list. So let's say you want to take from the first instance what you did and you want to transfer it on the second instance. So you open the first client. You will see here the recordings that you did. So you open it. And when you click on the top, you can save it. And at that point, you can change the owner of this recording. Okay. So you click here to change it and you choose another contact, for instance. And it will change the recordings that you did and the analysis and the priorities, etc., to this new user. Is that clear? Okay. And you can, of course, go to your contact and choose him directly.
So would that be when she changes that? And
yes.
And that's a very good thing to know. But when she changes that, the recording, the scan that he did, will that show up as a different scan, or will it be the same scan?
It will be the exact same. So let's go back. We have this one. We open it. There's just one thing that while it is rebuilding, you cannot save it. So that's why it doesn't want to do it. So you change it, you click on it, and there you have a little alert. And you can search his name, for instance. Okay. But it will be the exact same recording. It will just be attributed to the other account. It will just be the same recording that is moved from one customer to another customer.
Okay, but when I go on that, Adrian isn't on there.
And does it retrieve the same name that was originally tied to that scan? No, you put it in, even though you're putting it in the other email account, is it still going to say that name? So when you come up and let's say then you do another person, you come back in that account, do we still see that? And what is it saying? Just the date, or is it going to give it came from that other
okay, email? So nothing. So let's just show it. I did this recording on this account with the blue icon. So I click on it and I just change to one with the red icon. Okay. And I save it. Now this is a new customer, but nothing else has changed. Everything is the same in the report. So nothing has changed, but is just attributed to another client. So if this is the same client under a different name, the new name will show. Is that your question, Jeff? Sorry.
So how do I tell the difference? Like, let's say TJ did a scan of this person and it was under this one. And then Laura did that same person. And then I'm going to look at those two.
Yeah.
And so how do I tell the difference when it comes into my file?
But you don't, it cannot come into your file unless the client types himself on the account that he uses your invitation code.
Okay.
Okay. So you will have the ones that you created, and you will see appearing the ones that he just transferred to you as a new client in your client list. And at that point, you can move from the former client to the ones that he actually uses. So for instance, Laura has created a second account for him, but it's not an account that he uses. So he doesn't find his record in the account that he uses. So he should open his app with the account that he uses, enter Laura's invitation code. At that point, Laura can find him in his client.
Oh, okay, I got it now.
Okay. At that point, you see him in your client, and you can just save it under this new account that just popped into your client list.
Oh my
So
God.
when I'm on the startup page then, and I'm going to choose who I'm after, that will show up. And will it show up as the first scan or the second scan? Because we transferred the first one to the second one and we open that file. Is it going to show me the date, or that it came from a different file when there's two different files by that person, but under two different emails?
It will show, I think it will show the practitioners that did the scan.
Okay.
On the list.
Because that gets kind of complicated.
At one point, it showed the practitioners that did the scan. I have to check if it still shows, but we have this in memory anyway. So we know who actually did the scan. So it should be listed on the file list. I will check that it's actually the case, because it would be relevant to know, of course.
Right. And so it would give just the P code of each of us who did the scan, or does it actually say Laura or TJ or something on it?
No, it would. You would see the picture on the name. The app is bound to be like a social network, so everybody will have a picture and the name under that. And soon you will be able to create a gang, like a clinic of different practitioners working together with special things that go faster between them, like the ability to share customers or to open one another's customers and recordings and so on. But it would be like on every social media, you would have the picture, the profile picture of the people and the name under and all of that. And you could also be able to chat between people.
Medrick, I've been having problems uploading the pictures to people. Like, it's taking a couple times.
Yes, still.
If you want to look at it. Okay. Well, like as of last week or whatever the last version.
Okay.
I don't know why it's not sticking.
Is it with your iPad?
No, it's off the phone. iPhone 15.
iPhone? Okay. I'll check.
BioCoherence dating?
My next.
Okay, it's actually a very good point, because
I need somebody whose chart is like up here.
No, but we could actually make very good matches between people because we have a lot of information. So it's in the realm of possibilities. Like, let's say I'm open to meeting new people, and I'm open to sharing some of my information somehow, and why not? Okay, but that's for a far future,
Hey, yeah. Hey, honey, I'm really vibrating like this, and so are you. We should get together.
Yes.
Build your biomarkers.
Anyway, I have a lot of
biomarker.
Yeah, we're
you want to make a lot of money, do a dating app for sure.
Yeah, I have a lot of ideas of things to do when we develop the functions to make several scans at once and calculate the relationship between people, you know. And you can do a one-to-one for a couple, but you can do a one-to-many for a company, for instance, or a group, or tuning everybody together. And once we have this kind of tools, of course, it's just one step away to just search into a database of people that are open to meet new friends, for instance, or I don't know what. So why not?
That's a game changer, by the way.
Account, of course.
That's an absolute game changer, by the way. Yeah, that's a game changer. I'm going to go back on mute. Again, it's the commercialization. That's because, again, how niche do you want this product to be? Something like that just blows it wide open to an actual more mainstream audience. Definitely.
Yeah, no, I think once we have the function to compare two recordings and see the strengths and relationships between people, that will be very, very, very good selling point too. Okay, so about the update, I think I've shown most of it last week. So except from some last minute bug corrections or things like that. You should see that the MP3 export is still quicker than before. No, the big thing is that I sent an email a few hours ago because we have set up the dates for the BioCoherence Summit, which will be in October, just for TJ's birthday.
Yeah.
Is that right? When is it?
October 2nd.
On the 3rd?
The 3rd.
Yeah, okay.
That'll be the party day.
So yes, we have sent a pre-program. Everything is not entirely set up, and so it's in the same place than Dan Winter's last event. I spoke with Dan, and he will not do an event this year, but he confirmed that he will be a speaker at our event. So if you come, you will have the opportunity to meet him and to play with the new toys that he did, and so on. So it's also a good thing. And as you probably saw in the program, we plan to do one part in French and one part in English, because we do since 10 years our annual masterclass in French for the French École Extraordinaire that we created. So this part will be handled mostly by Catherine, who is the headmaster of my school. But we had the idea to, while she is in the main room doing the French conferences with all the French therapists that will share knowledge and so on, we will do some hands-on sessions of BioCoherence training. So the main event for you will be Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. But if you want to come one or two, or even since the Friday, if you want, we will have a separate room that will be mostly in English, and that will be devoted to all things BioCoherence. So, of course, you are very welcome to come. There is a pre-registration link in the email that we sent. If you just want to state an intent, nothing is mandatory right now. It's just for us to assess how many people and when, which people would come and so on. And also, if you have the will to take the stage at a point to share some things, it's very welcome. So that's not to be decided right now. But if you have the intent to share anything about how you work with the app or something like that, or some things complementary to it, it would be, of course, very interesting. So I think it will be very nice. And we kept the Sunday afternoon to have a nice walk in the nature, because it's right on the foot of the Canigou. And maybe one idea would have been to go to Saint-Martin-du-Canigou, which is an incredible place. So we will see that it should be a very nice event.
Yes, fantastic.
Yeah. About the update, I will just show you the journal because we did some improvement on it. Just for the journal is more a preview that will be expanded in the next versions, but more or less from the homepage of or here from balance, or from the progress, you have this new icon, which allows you to enter journal items. And for journal items, you can just write anything, or you can create values that you can track. So for instance, this kind of values, you can edit it. You can remove them if you want, and you can create new metrics like that. So when you commit, it doesn't have a metric. And if you want to add a metric, you just give it a name. So for JSON, let's say finger strength. And my question to you, Jason, what is the unit when you measure finger strength?
I was talking with Leon yesterday and we were using kilograms. I obviously typically refer to pounds.
Yeah, okay. So let's say
I don't have to do math.
Yeah, let's say pounds or kilograms. Anyway, it's just something that you write here. So you give the name, the unit, and you add it to your tracking list. And now each time you will add an entry, you will have this field, finger strength. Okay, so you can add as many entries as you want. So for instance, let's say 50. I have no idea if it's something reasonable or not. 50 seems a lot, maybe.
Leon got 49 last
okay,
night.
So it's fine. Yeah.
After
I was thinking you should have 50 if you are able to just hold yourself on a cliff. You should have at least your own weight.
This is great.
Okay, so let's add another one, and let's say I made some frequencies, and now I have 57, which is great. Okay, and I can just close it. And now if you go to progress, you will see a new menu entry, which is journal. And here you will get some curves. Okay?
That's amazing.
Yeah, and all the entries that you put, very nice, into the journal. So you find the numerical values here, and for every numerical value, you can just add some new entries like that.
That's remarkable.
Okay, so it can be useful. It can, of course, be improved. I'm sure you will have some requests and ideas, and I'm very happy that you have some ideas. So when you start using it, you will be probably frustrated because something is lacking. So just tell me what is lacking, and it will be in the next version.
Of course.
I think it would be
phenomenal
for a musician.
Yeah.
When you do the meditations, basically each of the meditations will tell you need a D major 7 or some kind of thing like that.
Yeah.
If we could track what those changes are over a period of time to see that the harmonics of somebody are changing. And if you're a musician, you might want to be playing in those keys, and then you'd have keeping a list like that, you'd be able to create music for yourself,
So here in music, you will find this information here.
Yeah.
And the one that is chosen for the meditation is the longest one that we can calculate. So the number of bars is the time scale on which this particular harmony is calculated. So this is the shortest, medium, and the longest one. So for instance, here in my meditation, I will be in D sharp major.
Mm-hmm.
But on a very short scale, I'm in D sharp minor, and so on. So you can find this information at this in this point, and you can just write it. It can change when you do a reevaluation.
Right.
So it can change because your mood is changing or your inner state is changing. So it can change a little bit.
Could you explain those three and what the difference is?
Yes. So I'll go back on it.
Please.
Why do the different on the right-hand side, you have the notes. Some of them are long notes.
Yes.
You do the music.
Okay. Sorry, because I closed it. So it has to be rebuilt. It's one of the screens, like almost every screen, that should be improved and made more easy to read.
Those notes.
Yes.
And the second, yeah.
Yes.
They're different.
Okay, so the scale, I realized I actually wasn't very clear last time. So Jeff, This is the chord that will be played during the meditation. So it's a D sharp minor 7.
Right.
The scale is a D sharp major. The scale is computed with the most the strongest notes that we find on this period, and the chord also. Okay.
So is it being registered by you're playing in the key of the highest note or the lowest note to balance the highest note?
It integrates music theory, but up to a certain point. So it's very difficult when you have 12 notes playing because you see on the chart you have actually 12 note playings, but some of the notes are more important than other ones. So for instance, I'm computing it's a D sharp major because all of these keys are played and some are off tones, but not so much. So the most coherent scale would be D sharp major given this data. And
so
yes.
So in the scan,
yes,
is it registering a balance that you need? So you need this as part of your harmonic balance?
No, it's a good question. It's registering this as your current inner music. It means that my point was to help you go deeper into the meditation, to take you where you are right now, and to lead you into a deeper state. And to take you where you are right now, I play the music that is currently resonating with you. So this is not a musical target. It's a musical resonance that you currently have in you. This is not somewhere I want to lead you to. This is somewhere I want to take you from.
Your body is singing to the sensor.
Yeah.
It's singing to the sensor.
So it says moment, period, and instant. What's the difference what does that mean?
Okay, so it's the number of bars. It's symbolized by the number of bars. Okay, so instant is just 1 bar. So it's a short period of time. Moment is 2 bars. So it's a longer period of time. And period is 3 bars. And if my recording was longer, you could have also a global harmony, I think, which is 4 bars. It's not exactly 4 bars or 3 bars. It's just a symbol. But it's to say on a short term, you are on a, okay, let me put it back. On a short term, I'm on a D sharp minor 7. On a medium term, I'm on a C minor 7. On a long term, I'm again on a D sharp minor 7.
Why is that?
It depends on the time span we do the analysis on. And we find these colors here, again here. This is not very easy to read. So that's why I say it's one of the things that should be improved. But if you want to focus on the long term, you look at the blue one, which is a computation of the strength of every one of these notes in the whole of your recording on the longest possible term. Okay. If you want to focus on the short term, it means how your recording finished, for instance. You will look at the green one. And for the green one, the computation is a little bit different. You see?
What is the number 5 in the musical harmony then?
It means that you have an average notes in the scale, as opposite to many notes outside of the scale.
So how far does the numbers of the harmony go?
It's more or less from 1 to 10.
1 to 10, okay.
Yeah.
So if I had a 10,
I would read it in an emotional interpretation. I would read it as you are in your tune, or you are completely out of tune. You know, and this is one of the markers that should be improved if you start meditating or if you just align yourself.
Right. So
you should see an improvement in that.
So you should be in the middle, not extremes.
You can, if you are extreme, it means that you are entirely in your scale, and that the maximum of resonances that we can calculate in your recording are in tune with each other. So it's a good sign. It's a good thing. I don't know if you are on a 10, maybe it's too rigid. I don't know that, but this is the kind of things that we will discover with time when we have a lot of readings and we develop more understanding of all of this.
So going with voice prints over the years, there'd be people who, let's say they had 100% was the scale when it maxed out on that graph scale, and they'd be at 100% of F sharp. And that was typically somebody who couldn't turn their brain off. They were kind of in high anxiety, a lot of pressure in the head or headaches and things like that. And so to give them something with F sharp actually made them worse. And so when I would give them a C, which, would be in the triad, that would balance that out. And so that's why I was kind of wondering how what we're looking at and utilizing these, how I can compare and utilize the balancing of what this is with what I've done with the other sound frequencies.
So what I should write on my to-do list is to let the pro change the chord if you want.
Oh, well, it's kind of like some people have a basic root frequency. And that, I think, is wondering if that's what the scanner is picking up. That's probably the most harmonic to you. That's something that would benefit you in a big way. So if you're a musician, you might want to say, hey, let's get on the piano. Let's play in D sharp major.
Yes, and one of the improvements that we could do on this screen, because right now I just compute your bass chord and I use the same at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end of your meditation. But at one point, it should be decided if we want to use the same at the beginning and at the end. And maybe it makes sense to use your current state at the beginning to help you dive down the meditation, but use another chord, which is the target, repeatedly in the meditation and at the end.
Yeah,
maybe this one could be chosen by the pro if you have the skill to do it. And if you want to play and find the proper tone for your clients. Or maybe we could just expand it with musical theory and say, okay, if you are currently on this kind of scale and chord, it would be good to go towards this one. But honestly, it's not something that I currently developed, but adding this kind of features could be really interesting. Yes.
Well, I think what's been good with the meditation is the fact that I keep people in a drone. So there's lots of harmonics and stuff in the drone, kind of like what you're doing there.
Yeah.
And so by that, that's where the calming part comes in, because the body's familiar to that, not having to necessarily have all the carrier waves and stuff like that happening. You're having the harmonics of the body actually flow because it's getting used to that soothing kind of, it's like the waves that keep coming and repeating itself. And that's what the body needs to harmonize to let all the other changes happen when you're tucking in all the other frequencies. And that's what really is working, I think, with the meditations. But just like the stuff I did, people sometimes in the beginning have little spasms or they're having a hard time because they're opening up the channel. And I call it like a beaver dam in the creek. And we're starting to send these waves through. And when we start breaking that stuff up, you can have some spasms or nervous things. And if you're not deep breathing and going along with it, there's resistance. But if you're calming yourself like the meditations are doing, then that will break open and you'll have this like epiphany. You'll have this big, wow, I feel so much better now. Yeah. And it was simple. It was simple, but it's getting people to do it. Because it takes time. I don't have an hour to do that. So it's like, well, you don't have an hour to heal. I can't help you,
Yeah. And by the way, so just to wrap up the music questions, would you be interested in a function that allows you to change the chord?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And before we move on from that, so if you're showing this to a client, how would you explain that just like real quick and easy? Because that's like a nice page that I show people, but I don't really know what to say about it. Like, oh, there's moment presence, just to say that this is maybe your root notes or bass chord that's helpful for you, or how how would you communicate that with?
I think that's why I've put the emotional interpretation of chords on this page. It's because music theory can be quite complicated. So entering into specific music theory is a slippery slope. But reading reading the emotional interpretation of the chords, I think could be much more pertinent for users.
Yeah. To say like this is emotional connection with the tone that it detected for you, maybe just keep
on this page, the D sharp minor 7th chord often conveys feelings of melancholy, introspection, tension, evoke a sense of longing, sadness, unease, and so on. So this is a text that associates this particular chord with deep feelings, and it's another way to express feelings that could be relevant to your client.
Okay.
So what do the musical notes mean in the box that says D sharp minor 7? What do those notes mean? There's 4 of them.
Yeah,
there's 3 below.
Because it's a 4 notes chord.
Okay, that's what I was thought. Because
D sharp minor 7 is a 4-note chord. You play it with 4 fingers. Okay, but C minor 7 has only 3 chords. I don't know why. On C. Okay, so it's probably missing the 5th. That's why you have only three notes. Honestly, I've been a little bit too nerdy on this one.
It doesn't fit in that little space very easily.
Yeah. So this one has 4 notes. This one has only 3 notes because it probably lacks the 5th. It's just a way to. I think maybe we should just remove this. It's just too much information.
I get questions on that. I've had several people ask because they're always interested in their tone. I say, if the aliens want to abduct you, they just look for your tone, and they don't have to be on Earth. They can be on Jupiter, but they can still come get you. And they say, well, okay, well, so what was the note? I mean, just the fingers. That makes sense.
About the
Jason said his music crashed his iPad.
Did it?
So I'm just trying to do anything right now in my own profile, and the data is rebuilding and crashing the system every time, even when I'm not entering anything. I was trying to get to music so I could look at all this, but right now it's rebuilding, and as soon as it's done, the screen goes white, and then returns me to the home screen outside of the scan that I'm looking at.
Okay, try and relaunch it, maybe, but
so
that's not good.
I just sent you I just sent a ticket, so hopefully
great.
that's helpful also.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just kicking me back out to my home screen. When I as soon as I open the record, let's see if I can do this
We
again.
will see the ticket and try and find why it does that.
Okay. Hopefully
Just
it's just my iPad or something like that. So
I don't know. We'll look at
I had that same problem too. I mean, in a previous version, it would collapse, not in the music, it was in the prevalence. And I sent a ticket for that. And it was figuring out the biomarkers and everything, doing its calculations. And then I would get the same white screen, and then it would close the app, and it'd take me back.
Sadly, it's the hardest thing for us to find because we don't have all the details of why it crashed. So I hope.
Does the ticket help?
Yes, the ticket might help.
Okay.
But in case of a crash, it's always complicated. Anyway, what I wanted to show you, because you, Jeff, I think you said 1 hour is too long. So we just changed in the latest version the slider here to a suggestion of different durations, but it adds a new function. So it's very interesting because now you will find the 3 icons that you maybe know, which is mind, body, and energy. And it allows you to focus. So by default, it's always the same. So it's for today with a little calendar. And this is, as always, a selection from all the different main categories just for today. But if you want to focus on the body, for instance, you can click on body. And it will change the priorities, and it will play all your body priorities. And only them. And if you want to focus on mind, for instance, you click on mind. And at that point, it will play all your emotions and the momentums too, I think, and only that. Okay, so it gives you different durations, but it gives you also different focuses.
Well, I think that's really good because some people, especially introductory people, who maybe aren't meditators who want to try it,
Yeah.
They're going to lose it by 15 minutes.
Yeah. So you can take the shortest one, which is 8 minutes, which is only dive and the chord and the end. Okay. So no priority at all. So this is, if you just want to do a short meditation to test it, you can take the shortest one. But then if you take the one for today, it will be 44 minutes. But if you feel like you just want to address your emotions today, for instance, you will click on the one with the 3 dots, and this will play only your emotions.
Gotcha. That's good.
So it's a new way of addressing the daily meditation. If you want to focus only on your body, or if you want to focus only on your emotions. And if you want to have full control, you can click on the plus, and then you go back to the former slider where you can just adjust the length that you want.
So would this be something like somebody who is having sleep problems? You click on the sleep part and have them do the emotions. If they're kind of stressed out, something happened to them, you could hit the emotional one for 35 minutes or whatever, but then click sleep because that would help calm the nervous system so they could probably get to sleep.
The sleep or wake is just a change in the last part. So if you chose sleep, it will just gently fade out and use frequencies to make you sleep. Whereas if you use wake, it will finish on a more dynamic tone. And then the buttons that I just shown are subsets of the priorities. So it will only use the priorities that you decided on this particular record and focus only on the emotions. So if you are emotionally challenged and you want to just work on your emotions, you can perfectly do that with the emotions that are part of the focus of the month, let's say, for this 21-day program.
Okay, and then turning off that monkey mind.
Yes, but you can also do a basic program, for instance, that would be devoted to that. That is different from your 21-day program. Okay. So it's another possibility. Just play a basic program for a particular need.
I have a bug that, in other words, I want to change the typeface. The typeface is really small.
Yeah.
In fact, the client I had last night doing a scan and then gave her the invite, she couldn't, I mean, even with her glasses on, it was just so small she couldn't see it. Now I've gone to the system, my PC system, and gone with the, for the personalization where for like ADA, and I've increased the system fonts. But all that did was reduce the fonts in BioCoherence. And then when I'm in fonts, under settings, and the interface font default is whatever, but now it shows the same font for all the other choices of the typeface. And they're small. They're really small.
Anyway, to answer, you have a menu with view, I think, and in view you can just make it bigger or smaller. The top menu on the top of the interface in Windows.
Yes.
If you change that, it will change the size of everything in the app.
Well, then I must have did it wrong because it went from larger to smaller. Usually when you zoom in, doesn't that make it larger?
Yes, it does.
Yes, but it didn't. Anyway, I'm in the program right now on my PC, so I'm going to go view and now zoom in. Okay, that did bring it up. This time it brought it up, but then of course I'm on the newest version.
It doesn't change. That's the same for all versions.
I would think so. Okay, so it is working now.
Okay, so
wasn't before. Thank you.
So just you have a menu that is view, and on view you have actual size, zoom in or zoom out.
But the typefaces or
The
or the
typefaces
si-
are not there. The typefaces are in settings and interface font. It's true that, yes, but when I click on it, it changes.
This is the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, is it?
Yeah.
That's very good. I love that.
Maybe the dog needs an harmonic boost. Catch the fox.
Well, you know,
But who wants that?
so so it changes, like I just clicked on Arial.
Yeah.
Okay, so but all the fonts now are in Arial.
Yes, it's
Like
true.
interface font default, interface font Times New Roman, interface font
Yes, but if you
Arial.
click on another one, it will change everything. It's true
Okay.
that at one point it was a preview of the font, and it's not anymore. So I don't know why.
Okay, that's fine.
I will
That's
check
what I
that,
was saying.
but you can
It's not
still change it. So you go to settings, interface font, and you can change it.
Just to be clear, I've gone back to Arsenal and it's still in Times, so it hasn't actually, yeah, it hasn't picked it up.
Okay.
So I will log a bug.
What system?
Excuse me?
What system?
This is Mac,
Yes, what system? Electron or
test flight.
test flight? Okay.
And then I'm on,
And you
PC.
cannot change the font size on this page. Maybe it would be a good idea to add something to change the font size directly on the page, but it would change only the font size and not the whole layout. So it would lead to maybe some layout problems. So for the layout, I would say use the system menu on top, where you have BioCoherence, file, edit, and view, and so on. In view, you can change zoom in or zoom out. This is
Okay.
only for the Windows or Mac version. So not for the version coming from the App Store.
When I click on the interface font, if I continue to click on a different font, it now reduces the type.
Does it?
Yeah.
That's
Now,
great,
I mean,
because it's only changing the font.
well, it is changing the point face.
Is it?
Like when I do Garmond, it's the smallest. It's still the same. It doesn't change the view of the, it's still Comfortana, right? It's not Times New Roman, or no, I take that back. It is Times New Roman. But as I change it, and now as I go up the checkbox, in other words, there's 5 boxes there. If I'm at the box at the bottom, I get the most smallest type. If I go up to the next different typeface, I click that box.
Yes, but okay, so you change the font like that.
Yes.
Okay, but then you have a menu on top which says zoom in or zoom out. If you click on zoom in, everything will be bigger.
Yes.
Okay. Up
Yes.
to the point where it's too big. So, and you can zoom out, and so you can with the font and this view, you can really tailor the interface as you want.
Now you have a handy vision test with the multi-size font too, Dan.
Yes. Well, I just print out the typefaces and tape them up on the end of the
But if
hallway.
you click on zoom in, does it actually zoom in for you? If you go to
Yes.
the menu, the top menu, and you click view zoom in.
I'm familiar with that. And that works by itself when I'm in the upper view, zoom in, actual size, zoom in, zoom out. I do that, okay? I'm just talking about clicking the boxes in settings, interface font.
Yes, like that.
Yep. So, okay, yeah, it's doing the same thing, but it's not, yeah. Just like that. It's doing the same thing on my screen. It changes it. Like the bottom box makes it really small.
Yes, but you can still zoom in if you want.
Where are you going to zoom in?
It's on a PC, it's view, the Windows.
Do you have a PC or a Mac?
A Mac.
A Mac? You go on top of the screen where you have the Apple and BioCoherence file, edit, view. You see that on top of your screen?
Hold on, let me look. Yes, edit, format, view.
Yeah,
window.
you go to view and you go to zoom in or zoom out.
It just says enter full screen.
What, you don't have zoom in, zoom out? Okay, so is it the version from the App Store or is it the version from our website?
Are you talking on the actual? I'm not following.
Because
Are you talking on my computer or on BioCoherence?
Where did you get the application from? Was it from the App Store or from
Yep.
the?
yeah,
okay.
so if it's on the App Store, you don't have this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How else would I get it?
On our website, biocoherence.net/install.
Oh, can I do that now?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I can change it so my mom can read it.
Yeah.
Fabulous. That's so
Mom
easy.
version.
See, you guys make everything so easy.
Sorry,
Yeah. And
what was the
maybe
link on the website? Or could someone put the link in the chat? Because I'm only using the mobile. So if anyone could put the link in the chat.
it's in all it's the same link that we send in all the update emails. So if you have any update from us, or you go to biocoherence.net/blog, if you have any update email, you have the link to biocoherence.net/install.
I'll look for it.
Sending it now to be on the safe side. It's done.
/install.
So it looks like it would be smarter to do the downloads directly off the BioCoherence site versus the Apple Store.
Especially for the Mac, for one precise reason, I didn't find a way to integrate the quick MP3 export on the Mac app from the Mac App Store. So the MP3 export is much longer on the Mac App Store version.
Okay, so that's
so
probably
much
why
more
I've had all the
fun.
problems with those is
Maybe,
because
yes. So
my last downloads were there, and this morning I downloaded from the App Store again. So if I go to the website, I can just redo it, re-download it, or upgrade it again, even though it's the same one.
You can install it from biocoherence.net/install. Just pay attention that you will not find your local recordings in the two apps if you don't upload them to the cloud. So if you have recordings that you didn't upload to the cloud and you want to find them on the two versions, you have to upload them to the cloud.
To make sure everything's...
Yeah.
As
soon as it's uploaded to the cloud, you can open it on any platform.
Okay. But on the Mac version from the App Store, it keeps them?
It what?
So, but if you downloaded from the App Store, when you upgraded, everything stayed. Even if it wasn't up on the cloud, because I think some of my stuff isn't on the cloud.
Yes. The upgrades don't delete anything.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's what I was trying.
Even if you update from because when you install the standalone version from biocoherence.net/install, you have to re-download it at each upgrade and reinstall it, but it will just upgrade, not delete anything.
Okay. All right. That's just confirming.
Yes.
Jason and Anton have their hand up there for quite a while.
So just quick note right here, and I'll go back to why I raised my hand initially. But I've downloaded the new version onto my PC and onto my Android phone and my iPad, and they're all crashing. So do you want me to send a ticket from each of those? I just sent the first ticket I just sent from my iPad, but do you want one from the PC and from the Android?
Wait a minute, you're doing iPad.
So you have the same file that is crashing everywhere. So it's probably related to somehow.
If I open a file if I open a record, it starts rebuilding data, and then the screen goes white and it kicks me back to the home screen. So I can't even stay in a record right now to search around for stuff.
Okay, that's not good. Yes, send a ticket and we will resolve it together.
Okay, yeah, I sent a ticket from the PC. Do you want one from the Android and or I sent one from the iPad. Do you want one from the Android and the PC? Does it help you?
Is it the same file that you try to open on every platform?
Yeah.
And can you try to open another file?
Sure.
If another file is working, it means that this file is somehow corrupted But
Okay.
honestly, it's the first time I'm hearing of such a problem. So
Well, nobody else here is complaining about this. So
this particular problem, I've never seen it.
But can I say something?
Yeah.
You're on Android and Apple at the same time.
Yeah.
so I have 3 different devices.
But if,
I-
I mean, it doesn't make sense to me why if you're not on an Android and you're on an Apple and you're working the same BioCoherence, is there a difference between the two? Don't they work differently?
No, it's more or less the same.
Oh, well, then color me stupid. I don't know.
You know what,
It's
Medrick?
the
You may
same,
have
but usually Android devices are less powerful than Apple devices. So it tends to be quicker on Apple than on Android, but there are high-end Android devices that work. So how is it, Jason?
I think it's the file,
It's the
Medrick,
file,
because
yeah. Okay,
now
so
I'm opening a different record and it's not happening.
okay, so just checking, is your file on the cloud?
Yeah, the one the ticket that I sent you should hopefully be relevant to the file that I was opening. But let me go in and make sure that that's available on the cloud. I'll make it so when you're asking me that, that means I need to well, hopefully I can do this while it.
Yes, maybe try to open it and send the ticket right away, so that I know which file is the culprit.
There.
But I've never seen such a problem, so good catch.
So I just saved that. Not only it's saved to the cloud, but it's also saved as a record or how do you say?
Okay.
Saved as a case report. So that allows you to see it. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And maybe you can tell me why my progress bar also doesn't go up green like yours does.
Honestly,
I'm just kidding. I just
I'm
always
not sure
notice
everything is right in
your
this progress
record.
bar because it seems to go all over the place.
Yeah.
It's a compound of every progress of every biomarker in your priorities. And I'm still asking myself if it's a good idea or not to put this progress bar like that. So,
Well, I just wondered if you understood how to make yourself super optimal right now, and that's why your progress bar was green. Um, Going back to and TJ, you saw my message, didn't you? I was trying to see if TJ could actually, because I have TJ in my client list, I wanted to see if TJ could somehow
I just saw it. Yeah.
use that invite code. I'm not exactly sure where, if he sent me an invite code, and I'm sorry if I wasn't listening, but if he sends me an invite code or I send him an invite code, which I did, I wanted to see if it was possible while we were on today for me to see a record of his, because I have him in my client list. And if I'm understanding this right, I use a different app that I work with clients on. They are able to use their app, and then I can go in and look at their particular file and see everything going on with their system. And I'm still a little confused of whether or not I need to move a record over to somebody's
okay, so there is a new
else's.
feature in the latest version that allows you to share a record so that some other pro can see it.
But when I do that, will it move the record out of
No,
my profile?
no,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
It's just to
Great.
share it and to be able to preview it. So I will show you.
Maybe TJ, you can
So
follow
here,
this with.
on any record, if you click on share access to this record, you can keep it for you. You can share it with the contact, or no, you can share it with an invitation code.
Okay, that's
Okay.
great. Okay.
And if you click on it, it will copy the invitation code to the clipboard. And any other pro that enters this invitation code, for instance, in settings here, will be able to download this report and to see it.
Can you do that, TJ, while we're sitting here and see if
So
you
TJ,
can share a
you
record
just
with
go
me?
to share with an invitation code and you send him the invitation code, and it will be accessible by JSON as long as as the record stays here on share with an invitation code. It means that if you click here, he won't be able to access it again.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fantastic.
Well,
Thank you. That's super simple.
will that default back metric, like if you go back into the screen again, because the default,
You click here, share access to this
yes.
record.
Or TJ, you can.
I just texted you the invitation code.
Okay, see,
And the
I'm
next
gonna
step would
share.
be if you have your gang of pros here, you could just click on them to share the record with them, for instance.
Oh cow, you have a long invitation code, TJ.
Yeah.
What-
Yes, it's usually longer than that. That's because it's a test.
Cut and paste. Yeah.
Did you see mine?
Do I?
It's okay. I'll try and paste that one in to
Okay,
share.
Kat, there is no zoom on the iPhone. It's only on
Just
the
crashed.
desktop version. I will try and see if it's possible, but in my memory, I tried to do it and it was just messing around with all the interface. So if it's really useful to have a zoom function, I will try and put that on top.
You know, one thing we wanted to talk about today was the PDF report, and
Yes.
the graphics that go into it are so small. And we also wanted to limit the PDF just to give them like a synopsis, an executive summary.
Yeah.
Is that possible now, or will that have to be an upgrade feature?
I'm working on it since you raised the problem. The idea that I had was to ask the AI helpers to make an overview of the report and to integrate this overview directly in the beginning of the report, and probably to get rid of a lot of things that are in the report and that are a little bit historic now. I would say we want to focus the report on. I would say we want to focus the report on resources, priorities, and maybe conclusions by the AI helpers. So let me just show you if you want. I've just
This is from Jeff. Thanks for this, Jeff. Great idea.
What?
So this just the idea of simplifying the report, just to give a one pager, is from Jeff. Explain it pretty well. Yes.
Especially when we're at not conferences, but like the MeWe fairs, when we're just going bang, bang, bang to get them interested. They can walk off with their MP3, but you don't want to give them 20 pages because the marketing it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
I think the whole idea of the shortened PDF is something you can just email them to right away. That's a bait, so we want them to come back and pay the $35 or whatever, plus counseling or whatever to understand what all that is. But if you're giving them, this is like a teaser, the first one's free, kind of thing. And
Yes.
it's like you got to get them excited enough to want, because what a lot of the resistance I'm running into is the subscription. Because people are used to, they want it the old way. And so do I, for the old kind of like buying audio programs, not by the month, but by just pay it off and you got it. And it's different strokes for different folks. Some people like it this way, some people like it that way. But
yeah, and I'm very happy you say that, because I'm exactly like you, and I usually don't like to pay month by month. And you can buy the software.
Yeah.
You can buy BioCoherence, even for the MePlay. You can just buy it outright and not pay month by month.
Yeah.
So
how much is that?
All the prices are on the website.
All right. Yeah, okay, I remember.
So because I'm exactly like you, when I like a software, I just want to buy it outright and not pay month by month. And some people prefer paying month by month or year by year. So we have just made all options.
Well, it's
hard. I get caught in all these you bought your subscription for the year, and then you got 5 other things that you do like that, and you don't know when they're renewing, and all of a sudden you're looking at your credit card and says, where the hell are all these, charges coming from? Versus when you go buy something and you own it, you got it basically done with. But it's different strokes for different folks. Some people prefer to have it auto out of your checking accounts and stuff like that. For me, I'd just like to say, okay, I got this. This is on my program, and it's a done deal. But so I'll look at that.
Well, hi. We are now on these prices. I wanted to ask something connected with this. Is about the paying this subscription, like an options for paying.
Yes.
Because one of my friends, not a client, it's my friend, but he asked about these options of paying with PayPal, Google Pay, or something like this. Is that something that would be possible?
For the subscription, it's complicated because for the subscription, we have to have a way to take the money every month. So when you buy the license, you can pay as you want. You can make a wire transfer or any way. But if you take a subscription, it can be either by credit card or by direct debit on a bank account. It works on European bank accounts or US bank accounts and so on. So there are actually several ways of paying it. It's not mandatory that it's a credit card. And if you want to buy, you can also do a bank transfer.
Yeah, because he asked, because especially this, he take the subscription, and then the next month he needs to do it again. And
no, when you do a subscription with us, you have to pay in a way that we can take the money every month, and it comes from us.
So if he pays, because he has like he said, he has like a crypto card, doing like a card, but it's background, it's crypto. So it's like PayPal or Google Pay or something like this. So if it's possible to pay like this,
as long as
with this card.
For a subscription, with any way that we can use, we use Stripe. So Stripe is a financial service provider, and Stripe accepts a lot of different payment ways. And if it's accepted by Stripe, it's okay. But it must be a solution that could be built every month by us.
Yeah, it's built, so he doesn't need to renew like.
No, it's automatically renewed. So I will show you that. Okay. Let me just show you now in the app. If you go to subscription, you will see. Sorry. Okay, you will see your current subscription here. So Jeff, you will see that you still have 23 remaining days because My Pro Plus is renewed on April 19th, and it will be automatically renewed. So you don't have anything to do. On this date, it will be, we will issue a new invoice, and it will be billed automatically on your credit card or your bank account that you registered when you took the subscription. You can show the invoice or manage the subscription. Okay, so you can see the invoice. You can print it, etc., etc. You can modify the automatic renewal, or you can modify the subscription. If you want to stop the subscription for whatever reason, you can just click here and stop the automatic renewal. And at that point, it will just be valid until the 19th and not renew automatically. Okay. You can also change the subscription level, and you click on modify subscription, and then you see all the subscriptions that exist. And your current is Pro Plus monthly, but you can change to a Pro Essential monthly, or to a Pro Plus yearly, or to 2 years, or to any other kind of subscription. You can do it directly within the app now. So if you want to downgrade to a Pro Essential, for instance, you just click here and you change at the end of the period, and then you confirm the change. And at the end of the period, you will be downgraded to a Pro Essential. So you can actually manage everything you want to do here, okay? And I think you have the possibility to change, yes, the license for life, okay? So you can take the license for life if you want, and at that point, it will just cancel your subscription and convert it to a lifetime license. You can do the same for your clients, Anton. If you go to the page of the client and you click on About, you will see their active subscription now. So for every one of your clients, you will see that he has a Me Play monthly, and it is not automatically renewed. So he will still have 30 days because it has been taken yesterday, okay? But at the end, it will not be renewed. So it will just die off, and he would have to pay again or to subscribe again if he wants. That is because I took the subscription from my account for this customer. So if I take another customer that doesn't have a subscription,
this is the part from the sensors when you take the sensors with one
no,
month.
this is, let's say this is a client of me and I am a pro. I go on About and I can directly buy a subscription for him. So if I buy 1 month, or let's say I buy 2 months for him because I have to see him in 2 months and he wants to do the meditation. So he gives me the money for 2 months. It shows me the price here. So he gives me 22 euros. I will pay 16 euros, me directly as a pro, and I confirm. And at that point, he has this Me Play for 2 months without a renewal because we don't have his payment data, so we cannot bill the next one. Okay, he just paid to you, and he paid nothing to us. And you will be billed of this price minus something like 30% of the subscription price, and it will be activated immediately. You will be billed in a few days, and you will take the money from the client directly. But in this case, as we don't have the credit card data from the client, we cannot renew it. So it's a subscription without renewal.
Okay, and then what is it's similar when I get they get the sensor with 1 month. They have also this option with 1 month, and then it stops. Okay.
Yeah, it's the same. You will see them in your clients, and you can see when the subscription is dying, and you can act accordingly. Because if it is one of your clients, you should concede him to what level of subscription he should take, and so on.
Yeah. Okay, I have another question. Then I need to go. It's about AI, because a lot of people, 2 or 3 friends, get me asking if it will be possible to get AI for some. Like not professionals only. It was only for professionals, or the AI helpers bar?
No, it's open.
It's for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's open to everybody, and when you share the record with them, you can choose what.
Yeah, I know that, but I don't know because I didn't use it. I'm just so if I get him a report, and then he does the monthly subscription of me.
Yeah.
And then he asked me if he can, but then it's the second question, because using an AI is only explanation. He cannot use it for the changing of harmonic boosts and other stuff, because it's not in his subscription. Do you understand?
So he can because he's your client, he cannot change the priorities and the resources from your recording. You only can do it. But what he can do with the AI is get explanation on the different biomarkers and build custom basic programs if he wants.
Okay, but what is the subscription level that he can change, make like Me Plus? It's
or Me Essential is already enough. So with Me Play, you can talk, you can chat with the AI to get explanations and do some basic programs. And from Me Essential, you can build your own analysis.
Oh, nice. Okay. Okay, because he took Me Essential for his sister and mother, and he took the two sensors, and he asked me this, and I didn't know to ask him because I don't have this this subscription, so I didn't know what is the level of. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so if you want to know, and I hope it's accurate, when you go on biocoherence.net, let's put it in English. If you go on price, you will get a breakdown of everything.
Yes, but I was looking and I didn't see the AI section.
Yeah, so maybe we have to add it.
Yeah. And it wasn't clear this part that not only AI helpers but also
Yes,
this change of the not priorities but this custom something.
Okay, so honestly, this breakdown is very complicated. So if something is missing on it, just tell us. And we have to add it because there are so many new functions since we did this breakdown that some things are probably missing, and probably we did this page before implementing the AI in the app, so it's probably missing.
Yeah, no problem. I just wanted to make a point because I get the question and it's something that
yes, but this page should answer precisely this question. So if you didn't find the answer on this page, tell us that the information is missing, because it's useful to have this information at this point. So it's good that you tell us.
Okay, thank you.
TJ.
All right, so on the Harmonic Boost protocol, it always starts off with like a meridian and then goes to like an organ or something. Do you have a general protocol that follows through? Like in writing our slide decks and stuff like that, that's one of the ways that I share with people when they get their Harmonic Boost. It's like, okay, you know, it always starts with like a meridian point in there. Is there a sequence that's consistent that you could share? You could tell us just so to share with people. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, sorry.
On the Harmonic Boost protocol,
yeah,
I noticed it always starts with like a meridian or something, and then it moves to the next thing and the next thing. There's like a general outline of what it goes through. I was just wondering if I could have those categories in order. If it's consistent, or like generally it goes to
it's probably the same order as on the priorities page. I think so.
If you go to the so if I go to the categories on there and just write those down.
If you go to priorities, it's in a certain order.
Yeah.
And, it should be in the same order, I think.
Okay.
I will say this, Medrick, then when you
You're right.
When you add on certain things, sometimes it goes up over everything.
Yes.
It's not gonna, maybe like when it goes through your system and it automatically does it, but when you add priorities, or if you go in and actually add, what do you call them? The biomarkers, then they will show up on top. At least that's my experience. If you hand do it.
Okay, so maybe something is lacking on this page is that you cannot reorder things. So if you add it, it will be on the last of this section, for instance. Maybe at some point I should add a function to change the order of things, but the order of the general categories is fixed. So it will be always first the chakras, then the meridians, then momentum, then drives, then organs, and so on. Unless I'm mistaken. It's not? Maybe not.
Now when I do it, because I'll go in and I add stuff.
Yes.
All the time, and then it will come up on the top above realization.
I think it's not true. Okay, so I think my brain just stopped. So let me just check that.
That's my word.
And answer
Medrick. Welcome to my brain.
Okay, just one last thing, something I'm working on. For the report, the idea would be to have a new AI helper summary. And if you go to it, you could just ask an AI helper. And if you ask, for instance, the naturopath, it will read your priorities and resources and write something for your report. Okay. And I think, TJ, this is an answer for you, so that you can just put this summary and probably the list of resources and priorities, and that's all on the report. So you would do the scan, and then you would go to the report and choose one of the AI helpers to according to the general tone of what you want to write, and just write this quickly and print it out for people on your events.
Nice.
So really, we solved a problem by you doing that, because that's kind of what I was asking.
Yes,
and now
yesterday.
we have a way to get to it, because some people may be different.
Yeah.
But like yesterday when I ran my scan, and so I started looking at the supplements that I might need compared to what I've been kind of dowsing and figuring out what I needed. And it was almost like, I think there was only 4 different things that weren't what I was trying to figure out. So it was a great confirmation about what I was doing. I go right on the money. I needed the magnesium. I needed more vitamin C. And we ran out of both of those. So my wife and I were laughing. I says, well, gosh, here we go. I got confirmation. So I'm not just, my pendulum is off today. I got confirmation. It was good. Thank you.
Okay. But I think this solution, choosing one of the AI helpers to focus the summary on one particular team and just waiting a few seconds for the AI to write it, it's a good solution for your event next week.
And you asked for that like 23 hours ago, Jeff. just to be clear, like that.
You can see it's not finished.
We might have to put Wizard in there with his name at this next.
Yeah, Merlin, Medric Merlin.
Yeah.
No, but it's actually a very good idea. So thanks for having it. Integrating the AI helpers directly into the report makes perfect sense. And I think a lot of things in the report are things from the very beginning when I wanted to turn the app into something more meaningful. And so maybe we should just get rid of everything here by default and just graying it out. If you click on it and you click on commands, you can just hide it. And my idea is that we should probably hide everything by default and just leave the summary, resource, and priorities. And in that way, you would have a more compact report. One thing we did also is to put the help text at the end, this one. Okay, so now that we have hidden everything, we should have something, and we added the logo also. So you should have first the summary, then resources, and there is a new text here that is new from today, which is how this resource can help. For all of the resources, we are adding a new specific text on why this is a resource for you. Okay, so I think this makes sense also for people to understand how this particular resource can help them. This is the same spirit that we did when we do the meditation. We have a specific text for this item as a resource, how to tap the specific energy that comes from the lung meridian, for instance. But this small text is really done for the report to help people understand the concept of resources. And then you have the same on priorities, but instead of how this resource can help, you still have the emotional links. So why is that a priority for you? And usually when we speak about the emotional links, it's a easier way to speak for people.
Can we get bigger icons and better explanations, so when we show that stuff to people, they get a better idea of the flower and how that works, whether it's adapting or whether it's strained or whatever? It's a little confusing for someone, especially when they see it so small on a printout.
On the printout? Okay.
Yeah, so when I printed out the PDF, the icons are so small you can't hardly see what they are.
Okay.
So,
Jeff,
to look at.
That's a really good idea. We could do that for the show and do a big flower with it all explaining out. That's a really good idea to have that like as a poster.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.
Well,
Uh,
if I could get that enlarged, I surely could, you know, at least make a 8.5 by 11 and put it in the stand-ups for us.
That's excellent.
Just around where it
We
is on the
we are
PDF.
we are gathering with Ines, which is our graphic designer, some assets, and in the assets we have the flowers in Illustrator version, I think. So we could give out some assets for if you want to print it in large format. We could gather it and put it on the Google Drive.
So what format is it?
I think it's Adobe Illustrator, but it could be a JPEG or anything.
Okay. Well, if the JPEG, as long as it's large enough and high res, so when we, you know,
Yeah.
blow it up, it looks good instead of not all bitmapped and blurry.
Yes, but we did them in a graphical format for the flyer and the App Store icons and so on.
Just actually on a side note as well, based on our call yesterday in the commercial chat, we were talking about that we would be very happy to extend a 1 month to give people 1 month of access to the technology in return for a video testimonial, because we are receiving so many testimonials from people who are having incredible results, like almost instant kind of healings that, you know, I think actually they need to be heard by others. So if you know, or if you guys are happy to do it, we'd be very, very grateful to receive them, and we would be able to give you access to the technology for an extra month in return. So thank you very much.
So
Just to be clear, Jeff,
Yes.
here in the priorities, we have big flowers.
Right.
In the resource, we have small flowers. So we could just make them all big.
Might
That
be a
make
good
sense for
idea.
you?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
And the explanation of what the flowers do,
Yes.
that was the part where
that's very small,
the
right?
font is very small.
Yeah. Okay. So I will just make it bigger. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because that was the part that was most confusing for me when I first saw it. I go, okay, now what the heck does this mean again? And I kept trying to zoom into it and bitmap, so it wasn't very enlargeable to understand what was happening. And so I was trying to get the gist because, hey, I finally got your book today. So I got a busy weekend ahead of me, you know, so I had to just kind of go from going through the process of understanding the app and stuff like that without really seeing all the details of what you're training in the book. So
I think the book is really important, and we now include the book with every sensor, even for distributors. So some of you will receive something like 120 sensors in a few days. You will also receive a big box of 120 books, which I think are really very important to understand the system.
how do I tell which version of the book I have?
It's on the front cover. If you have it since not very long, in the just on the first page, you have a version number with a date. Yeah.
Okay, 228. So 2025 so February 28th was this last version?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Because like Amazon didn't really tell you, and I kept looking for it on there and they weren't really telling me. And so
no, anyway, it's
I got it in a day.
A print. It's a print on demand. So as soon as we update it, the day after we update it, the prints are on of the new version. So they don't sell any. They don't have any inventory of old versions.
Oh, it was very good. Yeah. Thank you.
I got my books yesterday, all 20. Well, I got 22 yesterday and 2 the day before because it just didn't fit into the box. And the book is much thicker.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
I've
like
added something like 40 pages.
bigger than the original book because I have both of them. I mean, I don't have them here. I actually gave the client last night my old version,
Yeah.
which is fine because she's doesn't know if she's going to get BioCoherence, but we're working on it.
Hmm.
She does some sort of chiropractic, cranial, sacral, I don't know, whatever. We didn't really get into that, but we're trying to figure out how that's going to help her. But it nailed her personalities. She had the chakras showed low energy, and because she was complaining about low energy, and the software really nailed, I think, why she has it. I mean, I had to go and help her understand it, but it's really starting to come along.
Okay, great. I think we can maybe stop now.
Well, there was a couple of
Yeah.
questions there from Jason and Leon.
Yeah, Leon's had
Okay.
his hand up for a minute, but I had another question about the font that's I'm having a problem with. So, but please let Leon go ahead. Leon, are you there, buddy?
Can't hear you, Leon. Okay, back to you, Jason.
Let's keep it
Leon,
for
your
next
sound
week.
is not coming through.
No.
I was trying to I got into where we can change the font, and Kat had said in the chat that she couldn't also see where to enlarge the font. I'm not seeing that, but when I actually go out of the first screen into and you tap interface and font, all the new options come across, but they're overlaid over the first screen options, so I can't read anything. And I've seen this happen in a couple of the other places where you tap something and open the new information, and it just overlays on the wording from the last one, and then you can't read what you're trying to select.
What are you on? iPad?
So I'm in settings. I went to
what system? Sorry.
I'm on the new system.
On your iPad or
Is it an iPad, an iPhone?
Yeah, I'm on the iPad.
iPad. Okay.
That's typically what I'm using, so I don't know if that's happening the same. Let me see if it's happening in my
Okay, I'll check.
other system. But the wording from one overlays
Yeah, I
to
understand. I get it. But
Okay.
it shouldn't happen, of course.
And one other question, Stephen, I had asked Stephen in the chat, and so I'll just address that right quick. Stephen, I asked about maybe a week ago, I asked about the possibility of getting like a carrying case,
Oh, yes.
a protective case for the sensor. Hopefully that would allow you guys to monetize something more or just include it with the sensor or whatever. But I'm just using a different case for another tool that I have because it just slides in there. But kind of having this out and floating around and things is I feel the need to protect it somehow. So I don't know if a protective case could be lined up for the future, if that's
Good
possible.
idea. Yeah.
So
A branded case.
Yes.
yeah,
of course.
branded case. And then there was one question I had about something I saw in my priorities that was interesting. I noticed something related to Epstein-Barr. And when I went into the description of the Epstein-Barr, it basically was, at first it says it's not a good thing, but then when I go into the meditations, it's has some text about this is a good thing, and meditating on it being good. And I'm sorry, I wish I could find this text right now so I don't just kind of
We tend to focus everything in a meditation in a positive way,
Okay.
even with nasty organisms.
Okay.
Yeah, so because we don't want to create something negative during the meditation.
Okay.
That is why for the organisms, it's mostly limited to pros. And if you are not a pro, you don't have access to the nasty bugs. You only have access to the symbiotic bugs, which are bugs that you normally should have in the gut, for instance, or in the teeth, or etc., that are helping. But if you want to work on a specific pathogen, which is a nasty bug, you have to take into account that it's only an energetic evaluation. So it doesn't mean that you actually have it in your system. It means that the frequencies do respond in your system regarding this particular bug. So you have to see it in a holistic point of view. And if you want to confirm that you actually have an Epstein-Barr virus, you can maybe do some lab tests for it. But
Yes.
anyway, I find because it's an energetic evaluation, it means that these particular frequencies are resonating in your system.
Okay.
And so I find that the emotional connections related to this particular bug are the kind of problematics that are handled by this bug, because ultimately every one of the bug or the disease that we can have are here to heal something in us. I mean, if we have a particular nasty bug, it's here because there is a lack of something or there is an excess of something. And you can go to the point of saying that some of the bugs are actually here to, I don't know, to eat cancer, for instance, or eat things that could be even more dangerous than them. And so you really have to, if you want to work on pathogens, you really have to see it in a very holistic point of view.
Okay.
I call them the cleanup crew. Is when your body is really congestive, nasty, and dirty, you need to cleanse your body, and all those viruses and bacteria and stuff feed on the body's waste, and they're part of the cleanup crew. So as a cleanse is part of the whole deal, is the way I've kind of been holistic about it, instead of thinking I'm being attacked by some, scary virus or whatever. It's like, if you're in a good state, of your immune system and everything, those things should be in balance, because everything's in our body. We just have to find our harmony and balance in it. And I think these frequencies help us put ourselves into that. And that's great that you see it that way, Mederick, because it's balancing the system instead of putting the fear into the fact that something is the matter.
Yeah, and it boils down to the terrain. I don't know if you call it terrain in English, but we have several people working on this concept that you have the bugs that somehow are here because it's needed. So, to, like you say, to clean up things, or because there is
You
an
say
excess of something.
terrain theory, is that what you're saying?
Terrain?
Terrain?
Terrain.
Terrain?
Terrain. I don't know how you say that.
Terrain as in land, T-E-R-R-A-I-N.
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah.
Is that the terrain theory? Is that your body is either invites? It's the environment is inviting to the bacteria, rather than the germ theory, terrain theory.
Yeah, somehow yes.
Yeah, that's how you say it in English. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
This is our longest webinar yet.
Yeah, I'm more or less cooked.
I just have one more thing about dogs. My dog, I saw a flea on Spirit, and so I hit the flea one, and no fleas for a whole week. I haven't seen any, and all I did was the frequencies of fleas, and let them
There's a
listen.
frequency for fleas, is there? Wow. Okay.
Yep. Fleas, ticks, and mites, all of which I have in my backyard.
So then, even for kids who get those fleas in their hair when they go to school, like it's
that would be lice. I don't know if you all have lice in there, but I'm sure you do.
Yeah, wow.
I have not checked that out. I will right now.
Sorry, if we could just go back to Leon, because he says his technical issues are fixed.
Yeah.
Lice infestation. It's there.
Is it? Okay, wow.
I'll try and be quick.
That was very quick.
Elion.
Oh, you're gonna have to save it now.
Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
All right, I'll be quick. I have a client who's got who basically on her resource and was hypersensitive, and she's actually hypersensitive. Kind of like a feels emotion, like an empath, let's just say. Anyway, she thinks the day meditations are incredible. She's doing the 21 day, and she's going through a lot of healing, and yeah, fantastic. But the night one has kept her up all night. She woke up like 12 times at night, so she was like, I need to sleep. So I don't think I'm gonna do that again. But obviously, like troubleshooting it. I wonder what what anyone has to say. Like my only response was, oh, because she's such a hypersensitive person, maybe she's feeling the healing at when she's sleeping, and it's just it's almost physical for her. So it's just waking her up. That was kind of like my theory. But yeah, I don't know if anyone has anything that they could add to that.
Solar flares. Man, they've been just hitting the earth now for the last few weeks, and it's really disturbing people. So lots of people are feeling it during the day and achy and all that. And then at night, I had that happen the other night. I woke up at 3:30 in the morning and that was it. I tried to sleep, but I couldn't, and I think that really is something that's going on. And of course, the news doesn't have anything to do with it. So I wouldn't blame it on the software, Leon.
Fantastic. All right, yeah, no, that's again, I don't know, like, is it a correlation? Did she just have a bad night? But yeah, she just literally was like, yeah, I woke up 12 times, couldn't sleep. So yeah. Cool. All right, that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's fine. We'll keep it moving. Like I said, a quick one. Thank you very much, TJ.
TJ, what were you showing us?
That's just a frequency generator that they sell at like Menards for like $65.
For my dog.
For the dog, for fleas.
Oh.
Yeah. So Laura's saying that we have one in the BioCoherence frequency that probably works the same way. You don't hear this or anything. You just turn it on, it blinks like that.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that she found this on there. They sell these at Menards, I guess, for like $65. So that's like $6 on an app if you can.
I have a similar one that's like a hallway at night, LED, like, just a soft light, but it also puts out those frequencies. And I mean, it works for fleas and ticks and ants and everything, but it's also supposed to work for rats. And, you can buy them in 3-packs or whatever. And I just have them plugged in all through the house. But they are a sonic frequency. And I'm wondering, now that I think about it, I never even thought about it. I've had them in the house since I just have them in all my houses that I've lived in, right? And I'm wondering if those sonic frequencies are messing with BioCoherence. I mean, when maybe not so much the sound, but with the plasma, because they are sonic frequencies, and I don't know what frequency they're at. It doesn't give me the frequency that it's vibrating, but I never thought about that. Anyway, thank you.
Shall we maybe stop the recording?
Yeah.
Yeah.